Good evening, Americans, and welcome to the Ed Show tonight from New York. The so-called super committee has been sabotaged by Republicans. President Obama weighed in late this afternoon. Bernie Sanders will be here to react in a moment. Americans are shocked after watching campus police office pepper spray a group of students. One of the students is here tonight to talk about it. I was in Wisconsin over the weekend for the recall rally. We've got exclusive video. This is the Ed Show. Let's get to work.
You're shooting us for sitting here. No, that's fine. That's fine.
Students were attacked, policemen have been suspended, and the UC Davis chancellor today addressed the masses.
I really feel horrible for what happened on Friday.
Tonight, we'll talk to a student who took a face full of pepper spray and a professor who says the chancellor needs to go. Also tonight, Occupy Wall Street protester Jesse LaGreca and how these pictures resonate around the country. The super committee failed, and that's a good thing for middle classers. Senator Bernie Sanders is here with analysis. And this weekend, I was in Wisconsin, where the Walker recall effort is in full throat. Tonight, volunteers to recall Walker are getting death threats.
They said, if you don't stop circulating recall petitions, we will kill you.
Coming up, a full report from Wisconsin. Good to have you with us tonight, folks. People across the country want to know why this happened. A peaceful student protest at the University of California at Davis was broken up Friday like this. Students were sprayed with pepper spray at point-blank range by campus police. 11 students were treated for injuries related to the spraying. 2 were hospitalized. Some students say that they were sprayed directly in their mouths when they tried to cover their faces. Others were coughing up blood, and one reported nerve damage in his wrist. Most people are directing their outrage at this man, Lieutenant John Pike of the UC Davis Police Department. One student says Pike told him, "Move or we will shoot you," before loading with the pepper spray in their faces. His actions were caught on tape by dozens of onlookers.
Shame on you! Shame on you! Shame on you! Shame on you! Shame on you!
In response, Lieutenant Pike has been placed on administrative leave. So has another officer who also sprayed protesters. The police department has declined to identify that officer. Today, UC Davis Police Chief Annetta Spacuzza was put on leave by the chancellor of the university, Linda Katehi. Katehi made the call on Friday for the police to remove the student protesters from the quad. Thousands have signed a petition for Katehi to resign, but so far she has refused. In response, students silently protested the chancellor on Saturday night as she walked from a press conference to her car. The power of their silence is stunning, isn't it? Katehi agreed to speak with students today. They held a solidarity rally on campus with faculty members. Katehi offered brief remarks to the crowd. She was regretful, but she did not step down.
I'm here to apologize. I really feel horrible for what happened on Friday. If you think you don't want to be students in a university like we had on Friday, I'm just telling you, I don't want to be the chancellor of the university we had on Friday. So I hope that I will have a better opportunity to work with you, to meet you, to get to know you. And there will be many opportunities in the next few weeks to do that. Thank you.
I want to know if the students who were pepper sprayed accept her apology. I'll ask one of them in just a moment. I also want to know if she thinks her campus is a safer place today than it was when those students were staging a peaceful protest on Friday. We wanted to pose these questions to the chancellor in person, and yesterday she agreed to come on this show tonight, the Ed Show. Late this afternoon, she canceled. If the chancellor believes that she still should be the leader of UC Davis, she should answer, I think, these questions in public. And so should the police officers. I think the public needs to see the manual that those police officers were operating from. It is horrible, unjustified. It was a peaceful protest, and there was no reason for that officer to take it as if he was spraying his flowers in his backyard. Got to get rid of some of the bugs here. Who told him to do that? Now, the best remedy, I think, is for these police officers to hold a press conference, to show some guts. It's easy to spray kids when they're down and defenseless, but why don't they hold a press conference and say to the American people, this is why we pepper sprayed these college kids? They won't do it. But, of course, they've been put on administrative leave, and that makes us all feel a hell of a lot better. Get your cell phones out. I want to know what you think. Tonight's question, is there any reason to pepper spray defenseless protesters? Text A for yes, text B for no to 622-639. And you can always go to our blog at ed.msnbc.com. We'll bring you the results later on in the show. Let's turn now to David Bouchot, a student at UC Davis who was pepper sprayed by the police at the protest. David, good to have you with us tonight. I appreciate your time.
Hey, it's good to be here.
Yeah, describe the moment. You bet. Describe the moment when you were sprayed by the police officer. What happened?
Okay, so about a dozen of my friends sat in the sidewalk as a symbolic gesture and started chanting with the rest of the protesters. It was in the middle of an open field. The police officers were fully able to walk around us. On numerous occasions, they were able to walk over us. But I think that the police officer that appeared to be in charge of the riot police saw that as an attack on his ego, a personal attack. And obviously, we were completely peaceful. We just locked arms. We never touched any of the police officers. And so he came up to my friend and said, if you don't move, I'll shoot you. And my friend responded, I'm just sitting here. I'm just sitting here. And then I'm told at this point he walked behind the police officers that were holding paintball guns at point-blank range at our heads. And he said, don't worry, guys. I'll just spray them down. At which point he shook up the can of pepper spray, held it in the air for all of the crowd to see, and spray painted us down in the face 3 times. The first time it hit, I was immediately blinded. It felt like there was white, hot sand in my eyes. I wanted to open my eyes because the pain was so intense, but I had to force my eyes closed. I was literally suffocating because it hurt so badly to breathe because my face was covered in pepper spray.
David, I got to ask you, were you threatening at all to the law enforcement officials on the scene?
No, in no way were we threatening to the police officers. We were sitting down. They walked past us. They walked over us on numerous occasions. We didn't impede what they were trying to do in any way other than by sitting down. We were just sitting there and chanting and singing songs. At this point, we had set up camps the night before and spent the night. At this point, those camps had been taken down. We were just a bunch of kids standing around singing.
Do you accept the chancellor's apology?
I'll accept her apology when she resigns and joins our movement.
You want her to resign? That's what you want her to do?
I personally want her to resign. I started a petition on change.org. Over 70,000 people want her to resign. My friends and I, who were victims of this incident, managed to track her down on Saturday, and we have her on video saying, I don't plan on resigning unless somebody says I did anything wrong, and 70,000 people said you did something wrong.
Do you have anything?
Faculty Association.
Yeah. Do you have anything to say to the lieutenant? I understand it was Lieutenant Pike who sprayed you down. Do you have anything to say to him?
I don't know. He was an officer of the law, and my stepfather is a police officer, and I do have the utmost respect for police officers. I guess I wish I could have a conversation with him about why he did it.
For him to go on administrative leave, for him to be placed on administrative leave, is that enough right now, you think?
He's on paid administrative leave, that's right?
Yes.
The rumor I heard, I don't think that's enough. I think there needs to be a very serious inquiry. I think there needs to be a serious psychological analysis of this police officer. But I'd like to emphasize that it wasn't really the police officer's fault, in the sense that Chancellor Katehi ordered the riot police to take over our encampment. And given the events that happened across all of the UC campuses that week, she had to have considered the possibility of police brutality. There's no way she didn't consider and accept the possibility of police brutality.
David Busho, I appreciate your time tonight. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll continue to follow the story. Now let's turn to Nathan Brown, an English professor at the university. Mr. Brown, good to have you with us. You've called on the chancellor to resign. Are you upset that she hasn't?
Well, I think that she should.
Why should she resign?
Because I think that what we're facing here is not just an issue related to one rogue police chief or one rogue police officer, but rather a systematic use by senior administrators in the UC system of police brutality to terrorize student and faculty protesters, to repress free speech, and to repress the right for peaceful assembly.
We saw the video of the students silently protesting the chancellor. Are you proud of your students?
Those are not all my students, but they're all students at UC Davis and perhaps from other campuses as well. I'm tremendously proud of their action that night. I think the most impressive thing that has come out of this sequence has been the evidence of the incredible collective political intelligence on this campus. And those students are my heroes. They are a tremendous inspiration to me.
How is it possible for a campus situation to escalate like this? You're now in the midst of a national story.
Well, we've been seeing this for 2 years, in fact. This is what we saw in the fall of 2009 when students occupied a building at UC Berkeley. Massive riot police forces were called in and they beat students on the ground with their batons. The chancellor in that incident, Chancellor Bourgeois at UC Berkeley, did the same thing that Chancellor Katehi is doing right now. He called for an investigation. This is a classic script that people in power follow whenever there is an instance of police brutality. They call for an investigation, they put officers on paid administrative leave, and these are simply transparent methods of deferring and displacing criticism.
So you've seen this movie before, Professor?
That's correct, yes. As I've been saying, there's a systematic use of police brutality on the UC campuses to terrorize students and faculty who protest tuition increases.
And how big a problem is the tuition increases in the UC system?
It is a huge problem. In 2005, tuition was around $6,000. Tuition is currently around $13,000. And now the president of the UC system, Mark Yudof, has proposed an 81% fee increase over the next 4 years. That would raise tuition to around $23,000. So what we see is students standing up and saying, I can't pay that much money. I refuse to pay that much money. I refuse to go further in debt. And when the students do stand up and say that, they are beaten, they are hospitalized, and they are arrested by the police. It's a completely unacceptable state of affairs.
Professor Nathan Brown, thanks for your time tonight here on The Ed Show. I appreciate you helping us with the story. Remember to answer tonight's question there at the bottom of the screen and share your thoughts on Twitter at Ed Show. We want to know what you think about this story. Coming up, how do the events at UC Davis affect the Occupy movement at large? Activist Jesse LaGreca joins me next. And the super committee fails to reach a deal, and President Obama says it's because Republicans are too busy protecting the wealthiest Americans. Stay tuned. The Ed Show on MSNBC continues. We're right back.